Good day, everyone. We are the Group 1. We are here to tackle about a world of regions. But before that, I will give you a brief description about our topic. A world of regions, the contemporary world. At a footer, governments, associations, societies, and groups form regional organizations and or network as a way of coping with the challenges of globalizations. Regions are dynamic and changing. Wave process of people's activities changing their government and people being affected by their environment, created by people responding to the opportunities and constraints presented by their environment. In a world of regions, according to American political scientist Peter J. Kagenstein, persuasively argues that porous regions, historically distinctive yet open to transnational influences, and embedded in an American imperium, are critical elements in the dynamics of contemporary world politics. So it's time to broaden our knowledge about this topic. So listen properly and be attentive.
They are the countries that has been colonized by Europeans. For instance, India. India was considered was as the third world, for it was a colony of United Kingdom before they were colonized by British. Another one, here in Philippines. In Philippines are also part of the third world since we are colonized by Spaniards. We are colonized by Spaniards, right? So, for instance, they see that third world are the poor countries. Here, North and South divide. After the Cold War, many see primary global division as being between North and South. The global North refers to the developed societies of Europe and North America, which are characterized by established wealth, technological advancement, political stability, zero population growth, and dominance of world trade politics. So in the global north, they are the richest countries, just like what I've told you earlier. So the first and second world fit in or part of the global north. So in global north, they has established characterized by established wealth, technological advancement, political stability, zero population growth, and dominance of world trade politics. As in they have the positivity or they are full of advantages unlike the global south. Okay, so next, well, the global south refers to the developing countries which represent mainly agrarian economies in Africa, India, Latin America, and others that are not as economically sound and politically stable, tend to be characterized by war, conflict, poverty, and tyranny. So on the other hand, Global South was being described as the low-income country. They're the countries that are not that rich, that are not that rich, just average. Some of the poor countries on the world belong to the South. Unfortunately, countries in the South suffers from poverty, lack of human rights, and the abuse of natural resources. So additional information, Global North and Global South. Global North are considered as the high-income countries such as Norway, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, US, Belgium, Iceland, Japan, Sweden, Netherlands, and most of Western Europe. Just like what I've told earlier that North are the richest countries or high-income countries. So in Global South are countries that are less developed and characterized by low level of economic development, large inequalities in living standards, and low life expectancy, such as Africa, Latin America, and developing Asia, including the Middle East. So here we have here another comparison of the first world, second world, and the third world. So first world and second world. Home to all members of the G8 and P5 members of the United Nations Security Council. So later I'm going to show you the G8 countries and P5 countries, okay? So in first world and second world, they are richer and developed region, while in the third world, poor and less developed. So imagine we are less developed than in the first world and second world. 95% has enough food shelter. But in the third world, we only have 5% has enough food and shelter. So imagine how imbalanced we are or how poor we are compared to the first world and second world. The next, economy, industries, and major businesses, commerce, and finance. While on the third world, source of raw materials of the north. I forgot to put north in the end. Sorry. So in the first and second world, their means of living are more on businesses, more on commerce and finance, while in the third world, source of raw materials of the north, our source of living is more on agriculture because we are agricultural countries. Yes. So we have here another comparison. Oh, wait. This is the group 8, a group of 8 countries, and there is the P5 countries. So take a look of the countries. Okay, let's proceed. So we have here another comparison, the North and the South. In the North, controls 4/5 of the income earned anywhere in the world, while in the South, we only has access to 1/5 of the world's income. So imagine how rich the North is, okay? Then 90% of the manufacturing industries are owned by and located in the North, while in the South, as nations become economically developed, they may become part of the North regardless of geographical location. Excuse me. So if some country from the global South will be developed and increased or be progress, so it can be part of the North. It can be also transferred to the North if that country from the South will develop. Likewise, any nations that do not qualify for developed status are in effect deemed to be part of the South. Likewise, if some countries of the North will be low or will be down, will also be part of the South because their bases are not on a geographical location but rather on social standards or development. Okay? So global north and global south. Global divides are not purely of a geographical division but rather focused on socioeconomic and political affiliations and status. So just like what I've told you, that global divides are not purely based on geographical location, but rather they are more focused on socioeconomic and political affiliations and status. That if you are rich, you will be transferred into the north, and if you will be poor, if you will going down, you will be part of the south because they do not based on the geographical division. They only based on the socioeconomic standards. Here, on socioeconomic and political affiliations and status. So, just like what I've told you, that global divides are not purely based on geographical location, but rather they are more focused on socioeconomic and political affiliations and status. That if you are rich, you will be transferred into the north, and if you will be poor, if you will going down, you will be part of the south, because they do not based on the geographical division. They only based on the socioeconomic standards. Here, global north. Let's compare again the global north and the global south. So in global north, it has a low poverty. So of course, the global north is the richest countries. So their poverty is very low. They have a low child mortality. The number of child dying day by day is low. Yes. High economic and educational development. They have a advanced technological advancement. They have a stable governments. Low fertility rates means that they are not that populated, or they control the population in their country. Then low gender related illiteracy. The citizens in their countries have a gender awareness, so that's good. Take note that in global north it is more on positivity. Okay, so in global south, high poverty means the countries are suffering from poverty or poor. High child mortality, and the number of child dying day by day is increasing or high. Low income, low economic and educational development. They have a low self-consumption of natural resources. On the other hand, vulnerable to exploitation by larger corporations and industrial nations. There are also less technological advancement. Economy are dependent on developed countries. So imagine in our economy, they're still dependent on developed countries in the global north. So in global south, also have unstable governments, high fertility rates, in which the population there is increasing, or they have a overcrowded population. And lastly, high gender related illiteracy means that there are more on discrimination when it comes to gender identity. Okay, so that ends our discussion for today. I hope you learned something. Thank you and God bless.
Globalization in Latin, or the Latin America under globalization. So first, let's define the term Latin America. Latin America, this refers to countries that were colonized by the Spaniards in the American continent. So it to be said that Latin America is the portion of the Americas comprising countries and regions where Romance languages, which their language will derive from Latin such as Spanish, Portuguese, and French, are predominantly spoken. Okay, let's move. Let's discuss about Latin America under globalization. So, Latin America under globalization, they use also strategies to improve their economy. Just like in Latin America, they embrace cultures and territories of a different nation. America under globalization also, they connected in the way of multi-dimensional way. So they use the multi-dimensional way. So let's see the component of this multi-dimensional way they use. So it includes language, religion, culture, eating habits, sports, trade, and a lot of things. So Latin America under globalization also, it gives them effects also. So in terms of their trade, production, labor, market, and their demographic and prevents. Globalization has bring a biggest impact, especially expanding worldwide in terms of exchange and social trade. So globalization in the Philippines, we all know that our country uses a modern technology and infrastructure in order to us to communicate all over the world, to expand business in our country. Because of Philippines under globalization, our local business, it helps to growth and improve. Like what I said while ago, that Philippines under globalization bring biggest impact in our country, especially in helping our economy to grow and improve. It brings a lot of effects, example in terms of making more goods at lower prices, and also in terms of scaled up business, and especially innovation with sharing of ideas, and lastly in terms of better quality and variety. As we observe between Latin America and the Philippines under globalization, they use the term interconnection to connect with other countries, to expand a lot of connection, to deliver the business in different way in order to improve their economy, in order to improve the economy of their country.
Confronting the challenges of globalization. Globalization is an established part of the modern world, so most of us not realize the benefit it brings to our daily lives, such as easy access to a variety of different cuisines or new technologies developed by countries half a world away. Even though globalization make our lives better, it does bring some challenges as companies start to grow and expand across borders. Cultural differences around the world are undeniable. These differences create hurdles for businesses entering foreign markets and necessitate changes to their daily business operations, whether it's employing workers in a new region or communicating the value of the product to a new audience. Are the challenges we can consider: international recruiting, managing employee immigration, incurring tariffs and export fees, payroll and compliance challenges, loss of cultural identity, foreign worker exploitation, global expansion difficulties, immigration challenges, and local jobless, and many more. The Philippines find it hard to cope with the globalization process because its weak institutions or governance have failed to create suitable socio-economic and political conditions that will attract more capital and technology from both domestic and foreign sources necessary for economic growth. The widening of the gap between the rich and poor people, a result of globalization, puts the Philippines deeper in the quicksand of poverty and also causes social injustice among men. The moral challenge of globalization demands fundamental change in values, focusing on human security, democracy, and economic justice. By thinking globally and acting collectively, each of us must contribute to building a more compassionate, humane, and peaceful world.
Filipinos' vision for the country. By 2040, the Philippines is a prosperous middle class society where no one is poor. People live long and healthy lives and are smart and innovative. The country is a high trust society where families thrive in vibrant, culturally diverse, and resilient communities. The Philippine Development Plan of 2017 to 2022 is the first medium-term plan to be anchored on the 0 to 10-point socio-economic agenda and is geared towards the ambition natin 2040, which articulates the Filipino people's collective vision of a matatag, maginhawa at panatag na buhay para sa lahat. Malasakit Pillar is about enhancing the social fabric. The strategies aim to build the foundations for a high-trust society by ensuring a clean, efficient, and people-centered governance, guaranteeing swift and fair administration of justice, increasing awareness of the different cultures and values across Philippine society. The Pagbabago Pillar is about affecting inequality, reducing transformation. It consists of strategies to expand economic opportunities, accelerate human capital development, reduce vulnerability, and build safe and secure communities. The Patuloy na Pag-unlad Pillar is about increasing potential growth. It consists of strategies to enhance the factors necessary to accelerate and sustain growth and development through 2040. It is about promoting science, technology, and innovation. It also covers strategies to reap the demographic dividend. Supporting these pillars are policies and programs to ensure sound microeconomic fundamentals and promote healthy competition. Furthermore, realizing the importance of rectifying or improving initial conditions that are the foundations for sustainable development. The Philippine Development Plan of 2017 to 2022 contains policies and programs to ensure peace, security, and public order and safety, accelerate infrastructure development, and address environmental concerns.
Patria is the Latin word which means fatherland. Fatherland, it means the native land or country of one's father or ancestors. The word fatherland is particularly associated with Germany. If someone is very proud of the country where they or their ancestors were born, they sometimes refer to it as the fatherland. The term fatherland is used throughout German-speaking Europe, as well as in Dutch. Because of the use of Vaterland in Nazi Germany war propaganda, the term fatherland in English has become associated with domestic British and American anti-Nazi propaganda during World War II. So, fatherland was a nationalistic term used in Nazi Germany to unite Germany in the culture and traditions of ancient Germany.
Movers and Shakers, Hugo Chavez. Chavez styled himself as the leader of the Bolivarian Revolution, a socialist political program for much of Latin America, named after Simon Bolivar, the South American independence hero. Although the focus of the revolution has been subject to a change depending on Chavez's goals, its key elements include nationalism, a centralized economy, and a strong military, actively engaged in public projects. His ideology became known to many as simply Chavismo. Venezuela's government, like most of South America, Venezuela is a republic. The people elect their leaders. It is a limited government. The country is led by a president and a single national assembly. Hugo Chavez, born in Venezuela in 1954 to a poor family, sent to live with his grandmother to help make money for the family. He excelled at baseball and earned a scholarship to the Venezuelan Academy of Military Science. While in the military, he became troubled by the corruption he saw. Bolivarian Revolution. Chavez formed a revolutionary force named after Simon Bolivar. They attempted to overthrow the president in 1992. Chavez was imprisoned for 2 years for his role in the overthrow attempt. After his release from prison, Chavez transitioned from soldier to politician and formed a new political party called the Fifth Republic Movements. Hugo Chavez was elected to his first political office in 1998, president. Chavez reworked the Venezuelan constitution that drastically reduced the power of Congress. Passed by voters in 1999, changed Congress from bicameral two houses to unicameral, one body. Extended presidential term from 5 to 6 years. Called for elections to be held in 2000 election. Chavez won re-election. Chavez supporters won the majority of seats in the new unicameral assembly. 2002, Chavez is overthrown for 48 hours. 2006, Chavez wins re-election. 2008, Chavez policy ending term limit is passed by the people. Finally, Hugo Chavez continues to be a very controversial figure. He is a supporter of Castro in Cuba and has made no secret of his dislike of the United States. Despite all, his Venezuela continues to supply the U.S. with oil. The sale of oil is what has financed Chavez's social program and cemented his hold on power. That's all. Thank you.